to further splinter the regime and again, try to find people who, in the words of Marco Rubio, are more willing to make risk assessments and make better judgments and negotiate with the United States.
I brought this up last hour, Rebecca. The Institute for the Study of War said that Iran's security institutions expressed concern about potential protest calls and assessed that worsening economic conditions, such as inflation, unemployment, and rising prices, could trigger renewed unrest. I ask again to see if there's any information. What do we know about what's going on inside with the people of Iran?
Well, we know very little, but we remember in the beginning of Epic Fury that the Trump administration officials were very careful to make essentially talk to the Iranian people to say that this war is not against you and wait.
We're about to be at 120 for Brent, chat. We're about to be at 120 for Brent.
We don't want you to come out yet and protest, but there will be a time in which we will indicate. President Trump also said earlier on in the war that the United States had attempted to get weapons into some people who might be willing to use them against the regime. And we had to halt that because they were intercepted, didn't get to the Iranian people.
Yep. There we go. Admitting it once again. Admitting it once again. I told y'all, chat, that whole fucking rebellion was a fucking astroturf.
But my question is, Dana, are we doing that now? Have we used this ceasefire essentially to do some, CIA operations inside Iran to make sure that the Iranian people are armed? Because they are going to be a great asset for the United States. It's going to be up to them to finally push over the regime. But the regime is very fearful, I think, of the Iranian people. And so that's something we got to keep watching.
Rebecca, thank you so much.
The people are backing the Iranian dude. So much Hasbara bullshit. It's actually nuts. Holy man.
The army is like religious zealots, and which ones aren't? So like that's a part of the question too. In terms of
Renegade, thank you for subscribing, bro.
U.S. economy having trouble, I think we're due for a good recession.
We'll finish reacting to this, guys. Then we're gonna do the debate with Andrew Wilson and Owen Schroyer. We're going to keep watching that and also do some police videos as well.
But, that's inflation guy down 11, so I think that's fine aside from the midterms.
And it's stagflation. Welcome to your 1979. I was there.
Hold on, what the fuck? Hold on, chat.
You, Jose?
What's up, man?
So...
Oh, my bad. That's police cam. Sorry, chat.
It's not fun.
I know.
Look,
right?
the Trump. The midterm election. I think they realize they've lost the midterm. So the midterms isn't even a calculation here. This is the long-term goals here. Again, short-term pain, long-term.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. When I speak, you're not dealing with a guy that throws in the towel that quickly. You're not dealing with them.
You're dealing about Trump.
You're dealing with a guy that thinks he can turn anything around. He is wired in a very different way.
Yeah, but there's no off ramp for this really, where he's gonna have to concede on some stuff he doesn't want to concede in. The problem is that he wants complete capitulation and total victory. That's the problem. He's not going to get that here.
And the average person tries to understand him, in my opinion. Now, having said that, you know how quickly we were talking about everything was Epstein. Story went away. Everything is Iran. Story goes on. Everything is World Cup. We move so quickly. The average person moves on so quickly that it's like, you know when somebody attacks you and you're maybe a newer influencer. Oh my God, they wrote a hit piece on you. They lose sleep every night. But you know what the guy that's been around the block for a while says? Bro, this story's going to be done in 48 hours. People have lives to live. They're going to move on. But if it goes...
Yeah, that's true. When you're a controversial figure, bro, you just get used to this shit, bro. Oh, man, you just get used to it.
My opinion, John, and please push back. I want you guys to disagree with me if you don't. My opinion, if they're able to figure it out before World Cup, we're scored away. Because World Cup is the biggest positive distraction they will have. Something massive is going to happen in the World Cup. And then we move on. Then you have 4th of July, 250-year anniversary. Then you got the UFC fight at the White House. You have so many positive distractions that market's going to be like, and by the way, you know how this guy works. He's going to tweet something and say, we have come to an agreement. We are very close for Cuba to be the 51st state or Cuba to be, and I was, oh my God, we have come to Greenland. And the next topic is that. So as much as I want to say I'm with you 70% on midterms, I don't think he's wired like that, and I don't think his team is wired.
And it's not just Trump, because of course he's not doing the voting. I think what you said about Iran is true of the U.S. You need somewhere to run to, not just somewhere to run from. And the average voter says, I'm tired of Trump or the war or whatever. And then
10 to McLovin, appreciate you.
he looks at his average Democrat and says, whoa, wait a minute. Do I really want that team in power?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
It's interesting you're saying
Cost
that.
of living.
The one pushback I have for you is that the one issue that Americans have focused on for year after year after year, talking about 5 years now, that's the kitchen table issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cost of living.
So you can distract them all they want,
but
but
I
they go
don't-
home and try to
Yeah.
fill up the gasoline.
No, you're right. No,
That's
you're
the one
right.
they're gonna-
Yeah, and that's why people are pissed off, because that's what Trump campaigned on, which was affordability. You know? That's what he campaigned on. And no new wars.
And I'm telling you, you're right when it comes
And immigration. Immigration, no new wars, and affordability.
down to that. Right now, do you know how bad farmers are doing right now? You know, farmers right now, I think bankruptcy for farmers last year in 2025 was up 46% bankruptcies. Do you know the Strait of Hormuz, how much they're relying on the
Fertilizer is crazy. Like, Australia's getting cooked right now. There's a lot of fertilizer goes through there, and a lot of people are having food shortages. I'm telling you guys, this Strait of Hormuz being closed goes way beyond just crude, man. There's like other serious supply chain issues that are going to arise from this.
fertilizer that's coming from the Strait of Hormuz, how big of a liability this is for them. And when you go through all the different kinds, what they
Even more reason why this war is retarded.
needed for price going from $300 to $650 in months. So they're dealing with regulation. They're dealing with prices going up for, fertilizer. They're dealing with all this stuff. So I think that economy, so, oh my God, farmers are charging up. Farmers are not making any money. If you look at the average farmer's margins, they make 3 to 12% if they're lucky, and they make 0 to 5% on average year. And most of the time they're losing money. So we got to make sure they're good. We got to make sure the younger guys are buying houses, having kids. And you're saying first-time buyers dropping from 40% to 26%, so they can't afford to buy.
They can't do it because boomers are retarded and fucked up everything. Boomers, were able to really get the American dream versus, people of our age group, we're cooked. You know? That's the truth. You have to work a lot harder nowadays to get the same lifestyle that your parents had for basically with a regular entry-level job that didn't require an education.
I think that affordability issue was there before Iran, but this just kind of ratcheted things up.
We can't do it the European way by writing everybody checks, because that'll just cause more inflation.
But we are doing that with farmers. We give them $44.3 billion this year.
Sometimes it's necessary.
With farmers, it may be, but I want to hear his thoughts on
Well,
farmers.
that's where, it would be lovely if they could score a victory. If Venezuela would actually have a change of regime, if Cuba would have a change of regime, if Iran would have a change of regime, that would be, hey, we actually notched one big victory. Otherwise, yes, you and I, we say, in the long run, this is a good thing for the U.S. strategically, but at some point you want to win a political goal.
Though. That's massive. If they do flip Iran.
If
That's a
Then
big if. It's a 5-10%, by the way. I'm putting it very low. But if they're able to flip that, this may be a complete.
I think it's a higher percentage of success, and if it does happen, it'll certainly be worth it. That's, again, it's short-term pain.
Yeah.
I think they realize this is going to cause short-term pain, and this food issue is much bigger than people are giving it credit for.
Yeah.
Not only will you have people who are pissed off about the economy for the last couple of years, now you jack up the price of gasoline. It's going to get to $5, maybe $5.50, $6 a gallon. You're going to see food prices rise, not next month, but 3, 4, 5 months from now. So there'll be a delayed effect right before the midterms. And it's baked in the cake at this point. There's no going back. If they get the Hormuz problem solved tomorrow, it's too late. There's still going to be some short-term pain. So you get by the time you get to November, you're going to have gasoline prices that are still relatively high, even if they start to come back down. You have food prices that are going to be up. There's going to be a lot of unrest around the rest of the world. So I think Trump administration being pragmatic.
Than the rest of the world, and that's going to spill over to us as well.
Yeah, I mean,
You said this is much worse for the rest of the
much
world?
worse, much worse.
The food and energy issues.
They rely on us, so we have to lead the way.
Well, the fertilizer issue is huge, underappreciated. We could see. I mean, if
Australia is getting destroyed by it, man. It's really creating some serious issues in Australia. Any Australians in here, guys? How's your food costs going right now?
if it continues to go this way, you could see countries fall. You could see regimes collapse. That's the real downside scenario.
Oh
for the rest
my
of the world.
God! When you look at the data of how bad it's impacting farmers, it's you don't just 10 years. This year we're committing to $44.3 billion to farmers.
Also, keep in mind, guys, Iran makes 80% of their own food, man. So we're not starving them. We're starving our allies.
Because less than 9% of farmers are under the age.
Australia's really getting shafted because Trump makes fun of them, put them in a bad spot, and then says, oh, you guys need to fight to open up the strait again. It's like, no, bro, you fucking fucked it up.
Of 35, which means young guys are now growing up saying, I want to be a farmer. Everybody's above 35. $44.3 billion we have to give them this year. Farmers, 10 years ago, that was only $12 billion. In 10 years, it's 4x.
Well, I will challenge the have to. So Franklin Roosevelt started giving money to farmers. We've been doing it ever since.
Yeah.
The fraction of the U.S. who works on farms is way under 2% right now, most of which are illegal immigrants. So, you know, this is a tiny slice of the U.S.
illegal
economy.
immigrants. They lost some of those.
Well, that's
workers.
another problem
Right.
for farms is you can't get Americans to do it. So there's stuff rotting on the vine right now because you can't get workers.
You can't. That's the one thing you can't.
But
God
the
loves
US
farmers.
For the U.S., it's a small fraction of our economy that, God forbid, could be allowed to be the free market. If you're in the Philippines, if you're in Thailand, if you're in Malaysia, you know,
South America.
South America.
That's where it's really going to hit.
This is really hard on the overall economy as well as just.
Yeah, so I always wondered about that. So play that out. What does that look like if we don't do farming subsidies? Because I always wondered if that was necessary or if they did it so that farmers could sell it, lower prices so they didn't have to kind of raise the prices with the market fluctuations. What would that look like if we stopped with farming subsidies?
We would get cheaper food at
More productive.
and cheaper food.
But you end up
And the price of food always goes up when fertilizer goes down, even if where you're at doesn't need it.
subsidizing are all the unproductive farms.
Right.
Because they can't make can't make enough food to make it profitable to sell at the market price.
Are they worried they would go out of business though if they had to lower the price that much?
They will.
Right.
So you eliminate some of the unproductive producers, and the overall system, they get absorbed by the larger.
Yeah, the mom and pop car company went away in the 1920s. Sorry, they were cute, but big companies are more efficient.
Can't compete with Ford.
So why doesn't Trump understand that though? Because Trump does a lot of farming subsidies, and he seems like a free market guy. So
Trump is not a free market guy, and everybody.
Let me just try to. Tariff funds.
Did you
Let's see here.
ever think you were?
All right. Musk warns robot. Musk first. Kimmel under fire. All right, let's see here. Let's see what happened with this King Charles thing.
And originally was meant for an incoming commander, an opportunity to inspect the troops, make sure they're ready for combat. They will now inspect together.
He also delivered a speech in front of the whole squad. Trump's third assassination explained. All right, let's jump on, see what's going on with Al Jazeera
Bottom
here.
line, the way that the U.S. looks at warfare and peacemaking is
guys,
really problematic.
We're going to transition, guys, soon to the debate here, shooting stuff. Let's see what's the latest with this, actually.
Principle right now is not just,
oh, shit, they're still going.
Just a Navy problem. I mean, we've seen the same on MQ-9s and Apaches and A-10s and systems that our warfighters continue to rely on, which is why divesting to invest, which was sold under the previous administration because of continuing resolutions and insufficient budgets, created a gap where now you're getting rid of the very things that you need right now, and you don't have available things of the future that you said you would have because of the way this department did business. Always over cost, always delayed. So there's one destroyer, one Arleigh Burke-class destroyer in this.
Yeah, government contractors and people that do work with the government always fucking Jew and, fucking try to nickel and dime you.
Budget because, and I hate to even say it,
They always charge the government extra.
I'm not going to say it in open hearing.
Because they know they'll pay.
How many years behind we are in the backlog of building the Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. So the bulk of the money goes into shipbuilding to fix that, ensure we can get new places to build more faster. Then you can fund additional, either whether it's this class or the next class. But the Arleigh
We're almost over time. I'm going to reclaim and just say in my last seconds here, careful with the pace. moving through design to construction so quickly as proposed by this budget. Thank you.
Gentleman's time's expired. As announced earlier, we're going to now recess until 10 minutes past the hour of 1.
All right.
By a lightning strike in Venezuela the month before and sold on an Israeli idea that total victory over Iran would be quick and easy.
Yep.
And Trump rolled the dice. But back in the real world, the facts are just really clear. This war will have long-term repercussions, renewed cycles of violence, vendettas, and instability for years to come. Iran was bombed twice in the middle of diplomatic talks with the U.S. And in 2015, it signed a deal with the U.S. that put limits on its nuclear enrichment.
Someone's speaking rashly.
It took almost 3 years of tough discussions, and it was torn up by Trump 3 years later. So the distrust is mutual and palpable. If the White House keeps thinking the Iranian government wants to surrender and that everything's just going to be really fine after one more round of talks, that's the opposite of reality. It's going to take much
cost on Al Jazeera.
All right, let's see what else is going on. Let me read some super chats. Do police reactions? Got you. I will. Andrew Wilson's right-hand man, Mr. E, said he has 15 experience in the oil industry and says that America is an expert at refining crude. Okay. Only 1/3 of targets struck have been military, so we waste all this money and time for what? Exactly. This police recommendations got you. Renegade, subscribe, welcome. Freddie, love being informed while at work, but give my homie Becca Toby a shout-out for putting me on to the Army. Yep, shout out to you, Becca Toby. Sounds Nigerian. Bro, at this point, the blockade is a historical failure. Kids from around the world will be laughing at it under U.S. history. Yeah, dude, they will. The blockade of the blockade. They're putting a uniform on because employment and the job market is fucking trash. Yep. And OPEC made the title. Yes, only to respond to, because I debated, I was like reacting to stuff. Okay, let's see. Call me self-surrender chat. That's the official word.
This is what you need to know now.
I'm still not afraid.
Former FBI Chief James Comey expected to surrender to federal authorities after a new indictment.
Yeah.
Defense
I think he's surrounded this morning.
Secretary Pete Hegseth facing lawmakers on Capitol Hill for the
I saw Ivan Raiklin out there recording him.
First time since the war in Iran broke out.
On X.
New images in the White House Correspondents' Dinner attack showing the
This weird nigga.
alleged suspect armed.
We're out here taking selfies before the shooting. Like, what's going on here, man? Imagine catching a felony over $1 is crazy. Can you cover this police camera footage? It's funny as fuck. Okay, got that for OSS.
Inside the Washington Hilton. Plus, officials identify what they say is causing bright orange water to flow in a West Virginia stream. And the emotional effort to save Timmy, the stranded whale.
When three sisters buy a
Much
$13
more, what you need to know now. I'm Rachel Scott from ABC News. It is Wednesday, April 29th. This is what you need to know. Let's get right to the big story. Former FBI Director James Comey expected to self-surrender today after a federal indictment. The charges center on a 2025 Instagram post showing 8647 written in seashells. Prosecutors claim it was a threat.
They charged him for like threatening the president. They hit him with like the typical Secret Service charge for it. FBI did the case.
Against President Trump, but legal experts say this will be a hard case for the Justice Department to win.
Of all the cases that have been brought and threatened against President Trump's enemies, this one may be the weakest. This is going to be a ridiculously hard case for prosecutors to win. Why?
Yeah, a big reason why is because he deleted it after and apologized. Some people might look at that as consciousness of guilt. Other people might say, no, he rectified it and he didn't mean it that way. Context means everything. And the fact that he deleted it and denounced violence after, you know, obviously he shouldn't be charged. But, you know, I think that the Justice Department isn't like they're trying to send a message, right? If you threaten the president, even if you're the former director of the FBI, we're coming after you. So I think this arrest was more about sending a message than actually convicting Comey. Because Comey's a former lawyer. He's not stupid. He probably has a high-powered legal team that's going to fight this thing tooth and nail. But this was more about sending a message, getting him arrested, hurting his reputation. Obviously, Trump, you know, can be a vindictive individual. So that's what I think. This arrest was more about optics and politics than actually getting a conviction for a serious crime.
He has to have intended it to have been a threat. for this to be a successful prosecution.
Comey's first indictment by the Justice Department for allegedly making a false statement to Congress.
And they admitted that they had this case open for like a year, guys. It's no coincidence that they indicted it literally this week after that guy tried to shoot Trump. Because it's a fairly simple case, just that no USA probably wanted to take it. But then they were like, you know what? Let's indict this thing. Leave no stone unturned. Fuck it.
Congress was thrown out on a technicality.
We're going to send a message to anybody else. And if you guys remember, he was indicted for false statements before on a technicality because the United States attorney that was basically put in place to run the District of Virginia, she had not been confirmed by the Senate. So since she hadn't been confirmed by the Senate, the indictment didn't stand because she didn't have the authority to actually like push it through. So guys, the way prosecutions work is the United States attorney at the United States Attorney's Office is the one that does the final sign off on any criminal indictment. So the fact that she signed off on it, but she was not really the USA because she wasn't officially confirmed via Senate, that's what fucked everything up. Because the USA is a presidentially confirmed, it's a presidentially appointed position, which means they have to get confirmed by the Senate to officially take the position. That's why he was able to get around the legal loophole, and they didn't bring it back up again. It was false statements.
Comey says he's still innocent and is not afraid.
Cole Allen is a prototypical, goofy, progressive intellectual with an overinflated ego. Of course. For James Comey, the process is the punishment. Exactly. Exactly.
No court date has been set for these new charges.
This isn't about convicting him. This is about sending a message.
The Supreme Court has struck down Louisiana's voting map in a major voting rights case, finding it an unconstitutional gerrymanderer. Devin Dwyer has more.
This decision came in a case out of Louisiana involving a court-ordered drawing addition of a second majority black district in that state because of the size of the state's population. And the Supreme Court today, in this decision, said that the court violated the 14th Amendment by adding, the state violated the 14th Amendment by adding that district. They used race impermissibly, consciously, to add a second district to aid those voters. And they said that is simply not allowed under our Constitution.
A terror investigation is now underway in London after a knife attack in a neighborhood with a large Jewish.
Oh, yeah. Some dude stabbed the Jewish guy, man. Fucking, dude, this is why, like, these fucking idiots, like, this is not how you win the battle of ideas, man. Violence is going to just undermine everything. People are so stupid.
Jewish community. Police say two men, one in his 70s and another in his 30s, were stabbed. Witnesses say the suspect was seen running with a knife, attempting to stab members of the public before being detained and handed over to police. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer calling the incident deeply concerning. It comes amid a string of recent attacks targeting Jewish sites in London. Newly released images show the suspect in the White House Correspondents' Dinner attack just moments before the incident played.
Bro, I had to take the quick flick before going to do an assassination attempt. What a fucking idiot. And his phone sucks, probably a droid.
Night. Cole Allen appears to be armed with guns and knives, wearing a black shirt and a red tie. Authorities say the pictures were taken from his hotel room at the
fucking retard
Washington Hilton, where he's accused of firing.
Congrats. Confirm even more evidence for the FBI, dude. Fucking idiot, man.
FBI, open up! A shotgun outside the ballroom where the White House Correspondents' Dinner was taking place. Prosecutors say the images are part of a detention memo detailing what they described as a pre-planned and deliberate attack. Allen is scheduled to be in court tomorrow. Security changes have been made in New York City, where the royal couple visited the 9/11 memorial today. It comes midway through a 4-day trip for the King and the Queen, marking 250 years of American independence. Over on Capitol Hill, former Attorney General Pam Bondi will now appear for a deposition on May 29th.
Epstein files?
The appearance is part of a House oversight investigation into the Justice Department's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case.
Oh. They're on my desk. Okay.
Democrats had moved to pursue contempt charges following her previous failure to show up. Ranking member Robert Garcia applauded the news.
Well, great news. Clearly, we're being effective because it's interesting how it's only when we take action and when we actually have to force Republicans to do anything, to call subpoenas.
What the hell? This bitch look like an Eminem, bro. She bald as hell. What?
Denied.
What the fuck is going on there? Chick look like a fucking milk dud, man. I could see what she's thinking. Smooth ass head, bro. What the fuck? Bitch look like more than Michael Jordan with lipstick.
To get in front of our committee that they actually ever do anything. So I am so glad.
The Department
Give her a Bulls jersey, man.
of Justice says Pam Bondi was not required to appear at her previous deposition since she no longer serves as U.S. Attorney General. And staying here in Washington.
That is kind of true. She's not compelled. She's not a government employee anymore. She's a private citizen now, so she can say, fuck off.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is on Capitol Hill for a hearing on the Pentagon's budget, but it comes as a critical moment in the war with Iran. Jay O'Brien is following it all.
Rachel, a fiery hearing with Secretary Pete Hegseth, as well as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs and a top Pentagon budget official. And Democrats on that panel asking pointed questions. One of them from the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee, Adam Smith, was what was the overall cost to date of this conflict with Iran? To which that top Pentagon budget official said so far to date, it's cost the U.S. taxpayer $25 billion. Additionally, Adam Smith going back and forth with Hegseth on the administration's justification for this conflict with Iran. Hegseth said it was the nuclear capabilities of Iran that posed a threat to the American people. Smith said, but the administration last summer in June conducted airstrikes on Iranian nuclear facilities and at the time said that Iran's nuclear capabilities had been obliterated. So how did Iran pose an imminent threat, Smith asked, if its nuclear capabilities...
One sec, guys.
had been obliterated last June. Hegseth said Iran still had nuclear ambitions. Worth pointing out here, Rachel, as of the end of this week, this conflict with Iran will have gone on for 60 days, and there are even some Republicans up here on Capitol Hill saying that there should be a vote to authorize this conflict in Iran. So far, there's been no successful vote up here on Capitol Hill to authorize the administration's use of force in that country.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon has officially asked Congress to rename the Department of Defense to the Department of War. The rebrand could cost up to $125 million to replace signs and letterheads and make other additional changes. Turning now to the weather, a widespread severe storm threat impacting millions. A powerful system sweeping from the south to the Midwest, bringing damaging winds, hail, and possible tornadoes. In Texas, a possible tornado hit mineral wells, damaging homes, flattening buildings, and sending at least 2 people to the hospital. And in Arkansas, a tree crashing through a woman's home during heavy storms. She was inside at the time, but thankfully she was not injured. NASA is not slowing down after the success of Artemis 2, now preparing for what's next. Artemis 3. A massive section of the rocket has arrived at the Kennedy Space Center after a 900-mile journey from New Orleans. The section will carry the fuel for the powerful engines. The next mission will test docking, which is scheduled for later next year. The goal is for Artemis 4 to put people on the moon in 2028. And we have much more of what you need to know. Stay with us. Here's your daily briefing. Other big stories we are following on ABC News. Elon Musk is back on the stand today, squaring off against OpenAI and its CEO, Sam Altman. Musk claims that the company, now valued at more than $850 billion,
Fuck Sam Altman and Musk,
betrayed its original vision of staying as a nonprofit. On the stand yesterday, Musk saying, quote, "It's not okay to steal a charity." But OpenAI lawyers told jurors there was never a promise to remain a nonprofit, arguing that Elon Musk is trying to undercut the company to benefit his own AI venture. Musk is seeking billions of dollars in damages and wants Altman removed from the board. Overseas, police arrested 22 Buddhist monks at an airport in Asia, accused of hiding 240 pounds of cannabis in their luggage. The monks were returning from Sri Lanka.
Bro, I guess they really wanted to get Nirvana. Niggas took the easy way.
From vacation
With that ganja.
in Thailand. Police say that the pot was concealed inside fake
They got hit with that Chinese FBI.
walls in those suitcases. And a strange
The Fukinese Bureau of Investigation.
sight in West Virginia. Bright orange water flowing down a stream. Take a look at this. State experts believe it is caused by iron related to runoff from an abandoned coal mine. Officials say there is no indication of any impact on the local water system.
All right, someone sent this in. This is a red pill topic. We haven't covered a red pill topic. And then, guys, we're going to react to the are they live back again? Okay, still recess. Okay, we're going to react to Owen and Andrew Wilson. and this police shooting on OSS. So get ready, guys. We're going to switch over soon.
Before the bill came?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a social media influencer, and
Yeah, that's automatically L. Bro already lost before I even seen anything.
This man asked you to go with him on a date, and then he left before the bill came?
yes, ma'am. I'm a social media
She sucks that bad, I guess.
influencer, and Mr. Sutton, the defendant,
He slid into your DMs?
yes,
Okay.
essentially. He originally
Bro, ain't no way.
only asked me out on a couple dates. First one being coffee, and the second one being ice cream.
So you declined those dates?
Yes, I
Of course.
had to reschedule on him twice.
I wonder why you had to reschedule.
And then how do you actually get on the date?
Eventually, our schedules ended up working out, and we were
Nope, let me guess. He probably took her to he offered a fancy-ass restaurant. She said, oh, I got time today.
able to make it on
Shout out to you, Evan F. Speed.
time. I was a little bit late.
Of course.
Late, ma'am.
45 minutes late.
I got stuck in traffic.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Ma'am, come on.
Not eaten all that day, so I'm starving.
Did you ask him if he wanted anything to eat, ma'am?
No,
At this
I did
point,
not
You
ask.
just ordered your margarita and your calamari. Okay.
Yes.
And then do you proceed to order more food?
Yes.
The first scenario, I think she could have taken maybe 10 or 15 seconds just to send me something. She told me like 10 minutes before our date. I've already driven there. That was very upsetting to me. I said, let's go to drinks, not dinner.
Nice. That's what she gets because she came late.
I never said
See,
anything.
you got to clear it up.
I tried engaging in a conversation with her. She is on her phone.
Stand you up, came late, stand you up twice. Like she's lucky you even offered drinks.
She's on social media.
Of course. Women do that all the time. Guys, just so you know, if you're on a date with a chick and she pulls out her phone on the first date, like if she does it once and it's quick or whatever, but if she's like on her phone the whole time, you got to check that shit, bro, when you're on a date with these girls. Got to check that shit. It's incredibly rude and disrespectful. And the problem is, like, with younger women especially, they don't understand that shit's disrespectful because they're stupid.
She's posting. She just ignores me. She doesn't even engage in the conversation. So I told her I was going to the restroom and I V-lined for my car, and I didn't look back. The next day, she did text me.
She deserves it.
She said I was rude to fit her with a bill like that. I did pay for my drinks, though.
Okay, so he didn't pay. Then, bro, she got to hold the hell. Varsity Dage was listening to you while work. I was doing heavy squats, almost dropped the weight laughing. Oh, shit.
I sent her that money.
Yeah, guys, listen to me in the gym at your own fucking peril, bro. I'm not trying to get y'all niggas killed, man. You got 400 pounds on your back and you start laughing because I start talking about Shaniquas. Oh, my bad. Wrong effect.
Hello, monkeys.
Hey, disclaimer, I am not responsible for you guys dying while lifting weights, man.
Okay.
Listen to me at your own peril, bro. Try to catch me in between sets, man.
Ma'am, did you receive this money?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you are dating for a meal.
And so many women do that, by the way, chat. FYI. So many women do that shit, dude. You guys would be shocked if you guys knew how women like literally do this shit professionally where they set up a date every day just to get free food. It's insane.
Court is convinced, ma'am, that you operated in bad faith, that you
They always do.
wasted this man's time. So the court completely dismisses the plaintiff's claim of $218.69.
Hey, W. Suck it.
That is my ruling.
This man. Take the L, lady. WWW. W. All right, guys. We're going to switch on over to OSS. Joined the top fucking team. Okay. Show some love.
Under Trump, we will have no more wars, no more.
Only $1, guys. Use the code L YouTube. This is how I stay supported. This is how I'm able to keep doing the show. You guys say I'm the hardest working streamer. How do you think I'm able to do it? Because OSS.
Disruptions, that we will have prosperity.
It's only $1. Use the code L YouTube.
And peace for all.
The mission of Operation Epic Fury is laser focused.
The United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil.
This is not just a war about security. It's an information war. They need you to believe their stories, or else it all comes crashing down. This war began decades ago, but now you have the right intelligence to guide you, an army to march with, brothers to discuss with, and an admiral to lead the way. Join the OSS Army. Use the code YouTube, guys. Get in for the first month for $1. Cancel anytime. This is how I'm able to keep the show going, despite the fact that I've been demonetized for almost 3 years. We got a big army, guys, strong army. Be giving you guys a lot of free content. You know, join up. We're going to cover the debate with Andrew Wilson and Schreier. We're already in the middle of it. We're going to do some police videos. I'm way more, you know, I read the chat way more when I do OSS only. I'm reading everything that's going on, way more interactive, way more fun. So it's time to make that switch, guys. Come on over. I'm going to get the OSS chat on screen. Real Ninja Timing. Okay. And we'll also probably finish up the Pete Hegseth stuff as well. So come on over, my guys. Come on over. So we're switching over now, guys. Love y'all, ninjas. I'm going to be back tomorrow with Alex Jones, probably around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully I can stream on Kick. But come on over right now, guys. Only $1. Test it out. Don't be a brokey. Promise you're going to love it. It's a great community. Fucking totally worth the value. Get a Telegram group. Get involved in the show. You're able to donate only $1 and get involved. All you guys that like want to super chat in, the OSS is the best way to do it, dude. By far. I read every single chat. You can see everyone donates just $1, and you get involved in the show heavily. So join up, guys. Let's go. Link is in the chat. Join up.